Hello everyone, how are you all doing? So I just got my tea. This time it's berry tea instead of green tea, a bit different, but what you got? What you drinking right now? Hi John, hi Darius, hi Plumeria, Monica, I am Yahweh the Rebel. Awesome, lots of people here, huh? How am I doing? I'm doing pretty good actually. Productive lately, getting back to a lot of people and kind of like hyped up for next Sunday. Next Sunday, we're doing a live soul contract communication. We're gonna have Cosmic United, like one of our viewers here with me live. We're gonna be working together on helping out, and we'll see what happens. And like, I think like in the future, I can have more of you working with me and seeing if I can help you out and all that. But yeah, pretty good. Whew, so how are y'all doing, people? Like Lamaria's like, if any of you have questions or anything, feel free to just type it out and all. But yeah, looking lighter today. Yeah, good. It's sort of like getting back in the groove, I guess. Sort of like, hey, chill. It's gonna be okay. Like it's been a while since I've streamed like yesterday, so it sort of like takes a while getting back in the zone and all. And I guess like today is like I don't have this weird feeling inside, like which is like much lighter and it is better. So that's good. Hi Victor, hi Starseed. Yeah, I'll get back to you, Starseed. Actually, but like been getting back to a lot of people, not sure why you weren't on the list, or not even sure like if you got my message. Torn between desire and despair, really? Tell me about it. What's up? Hmm. Starseed, like, resend me your article. Like, if you can, I don't know, grab the link and, I don't know, like, send me an email, that would be better. What do you do about the parasites that are contagious and are infecting things that you create with your energy? I guess, like, visuals, like, recently, like, have you tried this technique of, like, taking entities, storing them into the box, and disconnecting them from yourself? Have you tried that one? Because, like, I've been noticing, I'm trying to work with myself again. One of the things, as a lot of you might know, is that if I watch movies, it sort of like messes with my ability on getting out of body. And I might not have as many visuals, or like there are other things that are happening, and so like it's definitely a part of it. And I've been like working, like one thing is like watching like a TV show, and then at the same time seeing if I can do something to prevent the visuals being gone. And one of the things I've been doing is actually doing some entity removal, or simply like some of you that might have a harder time maybe remembering your nightly experiences, or like let's say getting out of body, astral projection, lucid dreaming, being visual, like having visuals and then having full awareness and all this stuff. So each and every one of you can do it. And for me, basically, let's say I know like after watching, I'm gonna lose it, but it's also like part of my belief because I lived it, because I'm sort of like, yeah, well, I agree. And like I agree that if I watch those things, I'm gonna lose my visuals and stuff. So I was like watching stuff, and then I went to bed, and one of the things I did is like, okay, just like imagine like what if there are little kind of like satellites or little mechanisms out there who are sort of like beaming, and every time I sort of like try to look at something, they're just gonna turn off my abilities, turn off my visuals, and I'm not gonna see anything. So just sort of like laying there in bed, just sort of imagining those little things exploding and like stopping affecting me and all this stuff. And at the same time, I'm just like working on the entity clusters that like, let's say I might have some entities around me, and then I focus like specifically the ones that will sort of like turn off my visuals, block anything, or like all this stuff. And I was sort of like doing the removal, and next thing you know, I'm actually watching TV shows and at the same time getting my visuals and getting out of body. So I'm like, weird, because like I watched enough, I think like 24 episodes of, TV show and all this stuff. That's a lot. That's a freaking lot. And yeah, I'm still having my ability, so that's good. Anyway, enough about me. Let's talk about you people. What's up? Mary's asking, like, which worlds or planets require you to incarnate as babies to begin on Earth, and which worlds or planets can you just show up and live among inhabitants? Even on Earth, you don't have to be born and live as a baby. You can come in as a walk-in, so you literally can get a body that is like 15-year-old, 20, 50, whatever, and you can sort of like get a body, and at the same time, because of the consciousness, if the body it is, or like if the vessel is suitable enough, for example, it can be just like robotic, like just an armor, like if any of you have watched Full Metal Alchemist, or let's say we're watching some movies where robots have like consciousness and all this stuff, or like sentient robots and all this stuff, or like sentient beings who are like androids and all this stuff, literally the consciousness can move into that armor or like metallic body and use it. So Earth is not like required to be born, because literally even like if you clone someone or if you grow a body, like an organic body, like literally a soul can come in. So that's not a limit, but a lot depends. Like I can't name like, oh well, this the planet is called this and this is the one where it's required to come in and be born as a baby. I can probably tell you, instead of labels, which I don't like instead of names and all that, it's more like literally if you die and you're out there in the multiverse, one of the things that you can do is simply, okay, I want to go to a planet or a world or a realm where I don't have to be a baby. I don't want to be born. I just want to walk in and pick the body that is already older. And because you choose to program what you want out of the whole reality, you will get all the possibilities. So literally, you will get every choice right in front of you, and then you're like, oh, I like that one, because this seems like an interesting world. And you literally teleport there, and then you can pick out the vessel that you like and use it. So instead of like looking for a specific world and all this stuff, you can literally have quite a big variety. And, you know, like kind of like when you're searching for something, you can put tags or titles and all this stuff and find exactly what you want. For example, you're looking for for music, and you're looking either for, let's say, metal music or classic rock or synthwave or some original soundtracks and all this stuff. You're looking for something specific. You know what you like and what you want. So same thing as you're looking for specific music or movies or something else. You're like, okay, I want the world where I have to, or like I can incarnate, but choose the body that's already older. And because you choose this as an option, they will lay out all the possibilities, and you can just go to any world with that freedom of coming in and as like more older being. So there's that. Hopefully that answers the question. Rebel is saying, hearing everyone is going to be off planet by September 2021, and what are your thoughts? No? Well, it would be great, but I don't see who's taking us or where are we teleporting. Like, it's not happening. It's more like, let's say consciousness shift. We're not gonna, like, from the third dimension, we're not gonna appear in some other dimension. We're not gonna teleport anywhere, but more like, hey, you're here right now, stuff is happening throughout the world, people are becoming more conscious, more aware of what's going on, people are becoming more knowledgeable, and all of a sudden the whole vibration and like the frequencies of the world changes. We're not going to teleport, we're not going to disappear, we're not going to go off the planet, we're going to be right here. What changes is how we feel, how we think, and the whole vibration and like shift kind of like collectively, but I don't think people will just like and gone. I don't think that the whole world will be and gone, or it's like something like all of a sudden we're like flying in a different dimension. Like that's not going to change. From my perspective, we're going to pretty much like be in the same place, but at the same time just feeling differently. More people waking up, more people uniting, coming out together. But I don't see them getting out of there. Like there's no one coming to save us. Like this whole we're going to have a savior, we're going to be saved and all this stuff, that's not happening. No aliens are coming here, picking us up, no Astral fucking Command or whatever, not Galactic Federations, there's all the, like, kind of crap. Like, personally, I don't see that stuff. If some other people are saying it differently, that's okay. If some other people are saying different things than I am, like, whatever, it fits your belief system, go for that. Like, because in your perspective, I might be wrong, and that's completely okay. So there's that. Alex Malcolm has a question. Hey, in regards to the astral body, is it a component of the soul or the physical body we currently have, and are implants mainly connected to the astral body? Yeah, there's kind of both. Your astral body is kind of like the second body of the physical body. So the way your like physical body looks, your astral body will have similar looks. It's more of like an energetic body and all this stuff, but like it has the freedom. It's not physical, so you can literally shove hands through the astral body and like everything else. You can fly and sort of physics stop applying to it. So it's like more freedom and all this stuff, but at the same time, it does have like a very tight connection to the physical body. So consider it even working like a voodoo doll. Whatever happens to the astral body, like if the astral body gets the implants, gets zapped or tortured in some ways, if there's like, the whole thing like astral surgeries, so anything that happens to the astral body will some way carry over or bleed through the physical one. So if the astral body gets messed up, gets stuck, gets tortured and all this stuff, you might be the one picking up the effects, and you might find yourself not feeling too good one day or the other. So there's that, but at the same time, with the astral bodies, we have tons of them. Like you can use one sort of like, let's say, okay, the astral body's here, but you can make tons of these clones and like astral bodies like all over the place and have no limits. So that's kind of like the freedom there. I'm looking also like at the part, like, is it a component of the soul or the physical body? It's more of the physical body, but it is related to, let's say, consciousness, like conscious soul, like kind of like same one and the same. So wherever you travel, the astral body might change depending on your beliefs, your looks, what you sort of consider your default being state and all this stuff. That might shift as well. Implants are connected to both. Like literally your physical body might be messed with and you might have some implants. Like I was working with some people who have been the victims of the Secret Space Program 20 and back in my lab, and literally they show like how messed up their body is, or like how they are implanted, so like literally they can like have the magnet is gonna stick and you just can't pull it out and all stuff. So there's a lot of those things, but yeah, both. I'm Akvile is saying, hi Akvile, how are beings like ascended masters that can teleport, fly, and shapeshift here on Earth not bound or restricted by our collective agreements or beliefs? I would say like these ascended masters, and sort of call it more advanced beings now, consider their main body being not here on Earth. And these beings are called like ascended masters and stuff like that. They can have a lot of bodies, not just one, but more like, let's say, 10, 100, 1,000 bodies, and have the perspective, like point of view of those bodies simultaneously. So control like 1,000 bodies at the same time, like having like 1,000 experiences at the same time. They can do that, and like one aspect of them can be here on Earth, one aspect of there can be somewhere else, and at the same time, like if they come on Earth, they're not agreeing to this place. It's a whole different belief system. Like, like how some people, for example, people who consider bad, like the killers, pedophiles, rapers, and all this stuff, when they die, they're not gonna go to hell because they don't believe in it. Not all of them, but like those that do not believe in hell will not go there. So same way, ascended masters, when they come here, because they're not usually the good people, they're already like part of the whole society. They're controlling others. It's like they're the ones developing the whole system to suppress others. So why would they limit themselves? They would not. And so like those laws and rules not really apply to them. And at the same time, they don't have certain beliefs we do. They're like not over-identifying, because we're like, I am a human, I am a girl, my name is Akvile, I'm 23 years old, blah blah blah. Label, and eventually consciousness limits itself into this little freaking vessel, forgetting everything that is possible. Those other beings don't have that thing going. They don't have over-identifying issue. So literally, all the tons of aspects they have, they control them simultaneously, and they have that freedom. If one aspect is here, it's not affecting them at all. So that would be my perspective. Stars is asking, like, when you have a bunch of thoughts after you wake up, is it an imprint for help? I would say it's actually the opposite. The normal state, like, let's say when you get out of body, where you're in the astral, when the physical body drops dead and all, you have the freedom. So there are literally no thoughts. You stop thinking. The mind is an implant. All of these thoughts, not ours. And so, like, the natural state is being aware, knowing, and experiencing things, but not like, I have this amazing thought, let me share it. Like talking in your head is not natural. So it's already like part of like, hey, you're a construct of a bunch of other entities, beings, and other things like people have said and the whole mind. So practicing quiet mind to shut it off would be better. Now, it's not a call for help. It's not like an imprint for, yay, I'm gonna get help and all this stuff. It's actually the opposite. So practicing quiet mind would be better. Libra Musician is asking, will this current shift of energy eventually spell out the end for the Archons and demigods? I personally believe not. Because, let's say you and I, right now, we're playing the role of a human being, like consciousness in a human body, and we choose to play, let's say, oh, well, I'm a being that's kind, that's understanding, that wants to share information, that wants to grow spiritually and all this stuff, and we sort of assume this role of whatever we're playing. These, let's say, Archons, demigods, and other beings, at the same time, their consciousness, choosing one body or the other, playing their role, playing the bad guy, playing someone who's going to try to suppress you and all this stuff. So this is like, these are the conscious beings playing a role. And let's say, kind of like in video game, you are here and you're creating your like digital character, assuming like, oh, I'm gonna be this character and play around. Like whereas Death Stranding, Cyberpunk, or something else, you're playing a game. Once you're done, you back out, like you log out. Your character's still in the game, it's in that universe. But your consciousness, like who's the controlling everything, like by now I'm gonna do something else, and you leave the body and it's there. So literally, it can run on automatic, and like a lot of these like, let's say Archons and like bad beings and stuff like that, like, like. They can come at any time. Literally, any conscious being can come here on the 3D and be like, oh, well, I'm late to what they're calling this play of like specifically year 2020, but I'm gonna join here at this time and start like my journey right now. And they can come at any point in time, and they can choose any role they want. Whether they want to be a human being on Earth, whether they want to be reptilian in the Orion, whether they want to be the Archon or the AI or something else, they play that, but literally they can change their mind and go and like log out or do something else. They can leave their body to play here, or they can sort of like do whatever, but I wouldn't see like, oh, we're gonna have this energy shift and all of a sudden all the Archons and demigods and everything else disappears, and we're free, happy little beings. Like, it doesn't work like that. Like, literally, consider this like a multiplayer game where any person can at any time create a new account, create a character, and play. And stop playing at any point in time, log out, and choose a different game. So, it's kind of like that in my perspective. And again, like, this is how I see the world, but I might be wrong as well. So, you choose what's best for you. John, here's another thing. You're saying, like, if no one is coming, then this is, like, my will is to make this Earth a disaster place. Fuck this place, right? So you want to, let's say, you either die, or you get out of body and stuff, and you focus on destroying Earth. But you are destroying Earth in your own reality, on your own timeline. Everyone else who does not believe in what you're doing, or does not believe you, that have not met you, they are on their own timelines, they are doing their own things, they have their own realities. You destroy Earth on your own side, everyone else still has it. So you don't end the game completely. You just end it for yourself. Which is like, you're like, well, good luck, bro. Like, it's like deleting a video game on your PC or a phone. Like, okay, bye now, I don't need this app anymore. Haha, fuck you people! And all of a sudden you're happy because you destroyed it. For yourself, motherfucker! For yourself, not for others. So, you'll have to work at it. Like, if you want to really take it out, you're gonna have to connect to absolutely every single being, every single point of view, consciousness, and literally destroy it from their side. And good luck trying that. I'm a bit expressive today, but it's working for me, so whatever. What's in my tea? It's making me feel different. And my mom made me cookies. I still have one left. I feel happy. Yeah, what Joshua is saying, like, you already know if you're uninstalling a game because you're mad, then you'll be reinstalling it soon after. Reminds me of Dota, exactly. Like, you're like, fuck Dota. But then the Battle Pass came out, like, new update, like, fuck yeah, and you're, like, addicted again playing it. This is like, well, I might not be into Dota too much, but every time there's a Battle Pass, I'm like, back to it, motherfuckers. So, yeah. John West is asking, I'm still focused on creating a love relationship. I have noticed a lot of women have had a lot of success by working on their own self-concept and having self-love. What are your thoughts on this? What is self-love to you? Oh, self-love to me is taking care of myself. For me, it's like personal growth, and I guess the best way I could describe it is looking at Tony Robbins' 6 basic human needs. Certainty, uncertainty, what was there? Significance, relationships, like connection and love, and then self-development, self-growth, and the contribution to humanity, contribution in any kind of way. And like when I, like, let's say like taking 2-3 years back, I was really messed up. I was like at the probably lowest point of my life where like it just got bad. And I was like having no confidence, feeling like all crushed, like how do I restart everything from the point where I feel like I lost everything. And I had started like working on myself. So for me, like this whole self-love and growing as a person started from working from simple things. Literally make my own bed, take care of myself, like take showers, work out, do things, small, simple things to take care of myself. And like, you know, you might have heard of like Richard FTX, he has this whole decide and win. And like right now, like I'm realizing like, damn, this stuff is really good. Because at the point like where I was growing and sort of developing myself, I didn't realize how powerful this stuff is. I was just sort of like, okay, yeah, well, Tony and others give a few tips of what I should do daily, so I'm going to try that. And like, let's say waking up in the morning, and before you get out of bed, like a lot of people just have the time, before you get out of bed, you're more like, okay, look at 5 things you're grateful for. And like, damn, I have like an awesome parents, like I still love them and all. A cat, I love my cat. I have a roof over my head, I am healthy and other things, and I'm like, yeah, just like appreciate that. Because like, you know, like when your tooth hurts, when you cut yourself, when you hurt yourself one way or the other, your whole attention's like, damn, it's so bad and all this stuff. And you forget how blessed you are to not have any of those pains. Like you might have super bad like migraines, but other days you're just like, my head is so good, wow. And you just sort of like, you start appreciating the smallest things. And that was sort of like I started learning like the being grateful for things, like the whole gratitude things, and growing confidence by doing like simple things, but more like decide to do something like, okay, gonna make my bed, yeah, okay, I did that. Okay, gonna read a book, like I read a book, like yay, I did that. Sort of like I started doing small things but taking them as a win, thinking like, you know, like, hey, whatever I decide I do, and I take it as an accomplishment. And even though like those small little things seem like nothing, it's like, hey, it's every day, everyone does that. For me, I was like damn, it's actually, I am becoming confident of myself because of what I'm doing, how I'm living and all this stuff. And then from then on, just sort of like focusing on Tony Robbins and 6 basic human needs, I'm like, okay, like sort of like I'm getting in control of the certainty by things I do. Uncertainty sort of like giving more like variety for my life. So that was more like going out for the walks, meeting new people. Let's say making YouTube videos was becoming a thing. reading, playing new games, just sort of like more new experiences, getting out a bit of the comfort zone, doing something different. And that was actually like making me like, hey, I'm actually enjoying this. I didn't knew I could do this. I didn't knew I would like this. And trying out new things, and I actually ended up like damn, I had no idea I like Asian food. Mexican food? Holy cow, this is so good. Like, never in my life I had burritos, but like I tried it. And I was like, whoa, so freaking good. So many veggies and all. Like, that's awesome. So like for me, like it was actually good and all. And then, you know, like connection and love, but more like loving yourself. For me, like it was the point where accepting myself no matter how I am. Like, I have crooked teeth and everything, like, doesn't look perfect. You know, I have all these little pimples all over my face because, like, I'm reacting to food. So, like, if I have any dairy products, I will have stuff on my forehead. If I have sugar, which you see, like, popping out, because, like, I just found this awesome chocolate. And it's 50 cents. Come on. I couldn't say no to that. So, like, I ate a few thingies, but... And then I'm like, oh, well, no wonder. But, like, I stopped judging myself. I stopped judging, like, hey, I look like shit. I look bad. I'm like, hey, it's okay. And then when I started working out, I was like, hey, my body's changing. I actually like the little things I'm noticing about myself. And sort of, like, becoming okay with who I am, how I look, what I do, and all this stuff. So, like, stop judging myself, because everyone else will do that for me. And I have to be my own cheerleader. So, like... whatever like other people are saying, like I started shifting into like listening to people that I started to admire, or let's say like Gary Vee, Tony Robbins, Mel Robbins, Lewis House, then tons of others. Like there's tons of good people, and so like I just started listening to them and like basically trying to surround myself with the positive people. Like literally, I started like, let's say, drawing, and there's this like thing called pointillism, or I hope I'm saying it right. But basically, you take the pen and you simply dot, and then eventually you have this whole thing. There was like one little drawing that took me about 8 hours or so. But at the same time, for 8 hours of drawing, and I was sort of like doing it on Twitch, like drawing and all this stuff, for those 8 hours, I was listening in the background to all the people. And for me, that sort of like, it took me a while. But at the same time, it's like every single message, like I would hear it and I would like it and all this stuff. I'm gonna show off the specific drawing I did. Yeah, you can see it. So this is like the whole thing I did like back then, but like literally every single dot, like it takes a lot of time. Like it doesn't look perfect or anything, but that's like Onyx from Pokemon, and I was like basically doing the pointillism. So yeah, like for me, like. Just for hours, literally listening to that good stuff. And one thing is getting the motivation. One thing is like, oh, yay, like I'm motivated, I'm hyped. But like that does nothing if you don't do anything about it. So like I really love learning something and then applying it in my life. Like I listen to like Tony Robbins and I'm like, okay, I like some of these things. I'm going to try to apply it. And next thing you know, I'm like talking to my parents, or like let's say I go visit my grandma. And like throughout the whole conversation, I'm like, okay, like as she talks, what can I do to please her, like sort of fulfill her basic needs? And I started understanding like what are some of her issues, where is she in her life, how is she feeling, her own like emotional tone and everything else. I'm like, damn, I'm becoming more noticeable about how people are and all this stuff. And I started like paying attention to all this stuff. And as I started learning and then making YouTube videos, I think it was a major thing where I always sort of like admired others that had a lot of people, and I thought like every viewer is like a friend, which is why like right now having all of you join my like live streams or even watch my YouTube videos, I don't take it for granted, but I appreciate every one of you. So for me, like damn, it feels so good having so many people to connect with, and every one of you like means a lot to me. Like I know people who have been with me from the very beginning, and all the things like we talked about, and like so with some of you I could connected personally, so like it's amazing. And so for me, like this whole self-love, I believe like it's more like working on myself, not being like vain with like I'm the best person in the world and like I don't like that, but to understand like, hey, I might not be perfect, I will never be, but I accept myself how I am, and I like that. And I give myself the freedom to go for whatever I want and achieve all my goals and live my dream life because I want it for myself. And sort of like throughout my whole journey. And I guess like because of the way I grew, I always like giving people to like giving things to other people and all this stuff. So like for me, like whatever I get, I want to share and all this stuff, and making YouTube videos. Like, it's always amazing how whatever I share, it seems like some people might find value in it. It's crazy. Like, I never consider like my stuff that good, but like to see someone like really like flip and get tons of wins, my life like literally brings tears to my eyes. So like, there's a lot of the subject, but I feel like just like taking care of myself, growing like personally, and being okay with who I am, how I am, and doing all this stuff. So there. I guess like also like the biggest part is, while being myself, I want to express myself. Like, my whole life I've been wearing masks. I've been wearing masks and just trying to be a tough girl, because everyone was like, hey, stop being a crybaby, every girl cries and all this stuff. And I'm like, I picked it up as like a bad thing. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna cry, I'm gonna be tough one. And then, you know, like if I was bold and all stuff, if I would sit or anything, I was just like, tough face, I'm gonna tough it out. If I get hurt, I'm gonna tough it out. If I am like in the school and I'm playing volleyball and I literally love the liberal position, but I'm just gonna follow myself, and like my skin will just like tear off, and like, you know, like I'm coming all sort of like bleeding, or like there's just my body, like I would just destroy it. But like I just like wanted to win, I wanted to compete, I wanted to be the best, to prove something. And I was like damn, like some of it is not needed, but just taking care of myself. But at the same time, tearing off all those masks and learning to be myself in front of others was super hard. But like I think like Gary Vaynerchuk was like one of the biggest reasons why I can do it. Like just like, okay, I am no longer perfect, I'm no longer tough, I'm no longer like pretty or like whatever, I'm just gonna be me, whatever that happens to be. Which is like how to say it, like to cry on camera in front of tons of people who might watch me on YouTube, to share my life and all this stuff, and just like be myself. Like, I really want to just be myself. Like, I might admire Gary and all this stuff, but like, as good as they are, I want to live my life, you know? And so like I might admire like what they do and all this stuff, but just being myself and doing my own things in my own ways. And I think like that's just that freedom, and like, damn, I like that. So yeah, just adding a little bit to it. Zach, hi. So you're drinking tea, ginger and garlic. That's good. That's good. Plameri is saying, can you comment on a recent event where astronomers in Hawaii detected light beams from Jupiter and suddenly FBI agents showed up to keep the scientists from talking? And they said it was a craft. That's good stuff. Plumeria, like, send me, like, an email with some of the, I don't know, like, articles, videos, or anything like that, because, like, I haven't been attuned to what's going on in the world that much, so, like, I'm sort of out of the loop or whatever's going on, so I can definitely talk about it in the future, if I sort of, like, see what's going on, because, like, right now, like, oh, something happened, like, I have no idea what, and so, can't comment much or give you any valuable answer yet, sorry. Soulcon Remover is asking, what are your thoughts on spirit guides, real or a sham? Thanks, first stream I caught in a while. Well, glad you're here. So yeah, when it comes to spirit guides, I would say there's both. It's totally okay to believe in it. Like some people, hey, I have a spirit guide, and that can be like a like spirit animal, that can be a person, that can be someone you had in your past lives, or like maybe like this is one of those like celebrities and all this stuff. Some people have angels, archangels, gods, and other things. It's okay, like whatever you choose as your spirit guide, or whatever you feel like is really helping you, it's good. But also let's not deny that there are those that are like will use the label of a spirit guide to mess with you. So when it comes to having a spirit guide, like a lot has to do with how specific you are, what kind of connection you have, and how is it affecting you. Because some of you are like, well, spirit guides, please help me, I need this. Spirit guides, you open up to everyone who might put a label of them, like, I'm a spirit guide. And then, you know, when you're asking for something, you might not be specific, like, I just need 1 million. A million of what? You're asking, like, you talking about the money? Or you're talking about million problems, millions of obstacles, millions of entities? Come on, be specific. And so, like, because people are talking in generalities a lot of the times, they end up, like, leaving out the blanks that other entities and beings can fill in with whatever they have. So, those that are, like, being more specific or know specifically, like, for example, they're more like, hey, my, like, ancestors, people I have known in my life or I have heard about, are my spirit guides, and they're helping me with, like, learning about the world, about myself and all this stuff. And literally they can communicate with them, they can either hear them or sort of get the telepathic thoughts, just get information and downloads and all this stuff, and it's, like, all there. And at the same time, like, being specific and knowing what you're asking for is important. So, like, I feel like a lot has to do with that. Like, they're real, but there are those that will use those open blanks to actually connect with you and try to make you feel safe and all this stuff, but at the same time will be there sort of behind your back trying to actually harm you. So being aware of these things, like, if you have a connection with anyone, like, are you talking to each other? Are they helping you and all this stuff? There's a lot to it. So it's both, like, literally. Depends from the experience. Ascension Mystery is saying, we should solve this amnesia problem and also make it easy to leave the body. It's not okay to be trapped here, and with no memories of our past lives and our multidimensional existence. Yep, pretty much. That's what most people are trying to do, I guess. Just trying to understand, like, how did they got here, what's going on, and how to leave the body and all this stuff. Whips has a good question. Why doesn't our godlike being inner self put up some defenses against archonic attack and influence in our lives? That's a good one. So from my perspective, let's say if we have the godlike being in ourselves and all the other beings, like other aspects and stuff, like, they're there, they're powerful, they're conscious, they're knowledgeable and stuff, like, so why the hell are they not helping us? Like, I'm in trouble, you're so freaking good, you know about my situation, why are you not helping me? Like, what the fuck, man? So you might have, like, those, like, thoughts about, like, what's going on, why are they not there for you and all that. From my perspective, again, I would probably use the whole multiplayer analogy, but, like, as a conscious being, you create the game, or, like, let's say you install the game, you create your character, you're playing for a while, and then you're like, okay, had enough for today or for a while, and you turn it off, and you come back there, then you play, and you take care of your character, you level them up, you get better armor, you, like, get to their story, you know, like, how they're doing and all this stuff. Okay, got done with that. Next day, you work on them again. Next day, you work on them again. And then a new game comes out, and you're like, oh, a goodie. And then you leave your game. And then you play something else, and then life happens, and then you were taking care of your problems and all the other things. And eventually, you're like, okay, I wanted to download a new thing on my PC, but this, like, I just need more space. And, like, what do I delete? Oh, well, this game's not interesting anymore, delete. And the character that was in there, in that game, imagine it being you here on Earth, and your other aspect, or, like, let's see, this higher you or whatever, is like, okay, done with that, next. And they forget about you. Like, stop caring about you. Like, okay, it's not a thing anymore. It's not like they, like, so our aspects don't really forget about us, but because they're conscious, because they also want to experience life, because they're also busy with their own things, they simply, like, okay, here's a like, part of me gonna go here on Earth or whatever. Some, like, we have those cases. And then, like, they are busy with their own lives doing something else. And simply, if you daydream, if you imagine something, everything you think of, everything you visualize, everything you create, you manifest it. So let's say you're sort of, like, creating this scenario, like, okay, like, me and the girl on the beach, just enjoying ourselves, that's so fun. And, like, you sort of, like, daydream about it. Well, you just created that. You just created that girl over there. And you're done. And now you're doing something else. Every single thought about those things, when you just visualize those, like, situations, you manifest them. And they're out there in realities. How many times do you come back and check on your other aspects? How many times do you come back and check up on the specific beings you've created, on specific experiences you sort of dreamed up? How many times do you sort of, like, log in and check on your characters? You're busy with life and you do something else, and you sort of, like, daydream, you feel good about it, but then you're like, okay, next, and you're busy with other things. And that aspect of you, or the aspect of other people, they're more like, God, why did you leave us? God, why do you not care about us? And you're like, do playing worms or something else, like planting or like eating and all this stuff. And they're the ones, something happened in their life and they need you. You're not there. So there's a lot of these like variations. And while we're the ones wondering why is our godlike being in ourself just doesn't help us, they have their own lives. And literally, we have to do something to reach out. Like, if you want to be noticed, you have to connect with them somehow. And for me, like, one of the things, like, okay, when my cat died, I wanted to make sure he, like, really, like, takes, like, gets taken care of. And even actually before that, like, you know, like, I know it's coming, so, like, I was getting ready, and the day before that, like, I knew, like, okay, he's gonna have to, like, get euthanasia and all this stuff. So, like, literally, I reached out to every aspect of myself. And I told him, like, hey, my cat is gonna, like, his physical body will drop dead, and he's gonna move on. So I need every single aspect of me, those that are available, please come here. Please be there to guide him, to take care of him, to make sure he has a smooth transition, that he goes into the safe world, and he can live his dream life and do absolutely everything he wants, and be safe and be free, and all, like, his needs taken care of. And literally, I reached out to every part of myself. They got the settings, they got the command, they got like the request, and those who are available, who were there, they went and actually took care of my cat. And so like the next day after his death, like I was like actually just getting this like really like good connection with like, oh, he's safe, he's good, and I knew like it's all taken care of, and like hey. So I like also like sort of like instead of like just sort of like reaching out to one part of yourself, like that godlike inner self, I would try to reach out to every possible self you have. It doesn't have to be specifically who, but any part of you, let's say personalities, characteristics, specific events, might be some labels of like, let's say warriors and guides and healers and da-da-da-da-da, and you name those parts of you that you want to help, or you want their help. And as you sort of like connect them, you're like, hey, I'm here on Earth. And like my name is like da-da-da-da, and basically you fill in the blanks and you tell them about yourself, you let your position be known to those aspects of you that you want to connect to, and then you ask for help. You might ask like if you can help them out, like it's sort of like you know how homeless people might come up to you and ask for stuff and you're like, I don't know. So like it's great if you give them money and all this stuff, but sometimes you're sort of like avoiding those, like, you know, like, hey, you're just gonna get money and you're just gonna go drink and stuff, like, so no. And a lot of those things happen. So like some of our parts will be like, here he comes again, tons of problems, I hate helping all the time. So actually sometimes when you reach out, you might want to actually ask if you can offer something, or like, hey, would you like to take my information I have here on Earth, is there anything I can help you with? And then after you offer something, then you can sort of like even ask for, I need help with protecting me from entities, or like a lot of these situations in life. And so like reaching out to not just one aspect that's like godlike being in yourself and all this stuff, and that alone can also be, let's say, another entity using that label while you're like, do I even have one, you know? So like reaching out for your other aspects, and all of them would be good. Asking for help would be good. But there's also like part like of reaching out and then knowing that you're getting help, knowing that you're like getting response. So like learning to listen or notice the signs where like all of a sudden, like a lot of times we get inspired, we get this like in like just like download like, how the hell do I know this stuff? I'm maybe like, you know, you're talking or doing something and just like this flow of information, you're like, did I knew this? Like, where did it come from? Like, I don't remember like reading about it, but like you just know inside. So like literally there are parts of ourselves that will give us that information, and we sort of like need to be aware of it, or could be aware of it. That would help. But there's that. So yeah, a lot of times those parts of us, like let's say God, the godlike self, other higher selves, inner selves, sober selves, and da-da-da-da, like a lot of this like big ass lists, I would say like those beings, they have their own lives, and they eventually, let's say, create billions of aspects. And after you have billions and trillions of other parts, knowing everyone's name and how they're doing and like watching them all the time doesn't become a thing. It's more like, okay, you can live now, go. You have the whole anthill, like just like tons of fans. Like, do you know each of their names? Do you know what they're doing? Like when they come out, can you tell the difference who's who? So like there's a lot of those parts with our other parts where like, you know, like, they just like have their own stuff going. So there's that. Hopefully that sort of answers the question. I'm yeah, who's asking, like, can we separate from these collective agreements, or are we forever bound by them as long as we are here on Earth? I say we can separate from them, but it has to be like a lot of, like, I don't know, like training or practice, because like there is no spoon and all this stuff. Like, like we saw like in Matrix, like, oh cool, yeah, I like this belief, and like we're trying to manifest it, but it's more like you can sort of tell yourself it's not that way, but you literally have to believe it. You literally have to live it. And for example, you're telling yourself there is no tree there, and everyone else telling you, hey, it's there. As long as you listen to others and believe what others say, or like, your subconscious catches it, it's gonna say like, like, yeah, it's still there, motherfucker, it's not gonna disappear. So literally, even like I would say, like, having the community of people who would think alike is helpful, separating from it is possible, but literally, stop paying attention to what others are saying, and trying to get rid of those limiting beliefs or yourself, like your old agreements. That would be also part, like, it's like you've been programmed, you've lived it for like however many years, and trying to change it like right away is not that easy. So like practicing all the stuff would be a thing. Starseed is asking, more like saying, I read stuff about the end of the universe, and it made me think, is there ever end of the astral? My answer is no, there is no end of the astral, because consider it being like a realm. Every time you think of something, like let's say like, oh well, everyone's like watching my stream right now, and there's this like kami house with like this little island, and cool, and everyone's focusing on that. How easy it is for you to, like, let's say close your eyes and sort of like remake the image, maybe not perfectly, but to see the screen again back in your mind. Easy enough, I guess, for most people. And then throughout the day you're thinking, you're focusing on other things, and like you might daydream, you might sort of create fantasy worlds, and like, you're reading books or like something, and you're sort of like can see, visualize, and all this stuff. It's possible. So you're sort of like naturally creating all the time. And because let's say you go in the astral and you're like, okay, there's plenty of stuff created, but I want my own stuff, and you start creating, and you add tons of different realms and planets and like other places, but each being from freaking massive multiverse can come to the astral and add their own version. There is no limit, there is no square box of how many stuff you can put in there. It's endless. And so everyone who comes there can extend it, can make more out of it, can add new things, and it's like a never-ending thing. So for me, like, I would say no. But if you believe that, that's up to you. Like, it's like whatever's like fitting your belief system the best. Tyler has a good question, saying, I hear people say that we incarnate here to experience hardships and painful lessons for soul evolution. Could this be a false spiritual teaching to get us to surrender to our bad experiences? Exactly. For me, I don't see the Earth as Earth school. I don't see it as a place to learn and to experience something that you cannot experience anywhere else. Simply consider this. If you take the bottle of stuff like chemicals that will clean your bathroom or something else, it's like it can be soap, it can be other stuff, but literally it says do not drink it, it can burn, like the thing, like if you light it up it can burn, or like maybe it's explosive and all this stuff, and it tells you all about the chemicals. And if it was like, yeah, you actually have to taste it and try it out, like consume Tide Pods and all the other crazy stuff people do sometimes, to learn that it's actually whatever says on the labels, you have to learn yourself. Because reading is not a lesson. Reading that it's dangerous, You have to go to Chernobyl and test for yourself if there's radiation, because you can't believe anyone else. Like, come on, like reading a book and that says like, yeah, this place is dangerous, don't go there, and you're like, nah, I have to experience it for myself because it's a school, because it's a place to evolve and learn, and you're sort of like, just like, who the fuck does that, you know? It's like, if it's like says on the label, it's really bad for you, don't do it. Sugar will kill you. Coffee and like other stuff is addictive and all this stuff. You're like, it's your decision, you know? And so like, you fully know like, Earth, you're gonna suffer here. But you have to experience it to learn and grow, because just like reading labels that says like, it's gonna kill you, like you have to actually die and learn from it and then try it out again to see like what other things it can do. Like, it's bullshit. It's literally bullshit. So like, I'm not going for it. Plus, it's like, learning what? You come here and you forget absolutely everything. And then you suffer, and life ends, and you're out, and you're like, oh, well, there's been a lot of suffering. I'm gonna go back again. And you forget everything. So it's like never-ending experience of like, if you don't learn, it's like doing same old thing over and over and over again, and not changing a thing. It's insane. It's not growing, it's not getting better. It's this place, like Marcel is saying, this is a freaking prison planet. It's there to sort of like suppress people. It's to delete your memories, mess with you, suppress you, like so that you would forget that you're a powerful being, that you are not useless, that you're not helpless, that you can actually do freaking a lot. But they don't want you knowing that. So yeah, I'm not going for it. I'm not going for this being a place to evolve and get better. Starseed is asking, like, you suggest me making the box to trap spirits, but what if the box is contaminated? It's the thing, like, whatever you think and believe is created. So if you're creating the box and like, okay, this is a box, a place to trap like beings that are messing with me, so that they could be cut off from me and they would go to the galactic court for like, let's say transmutation, and they evolve and they get better, boom, it's done. But if you're like, I create the box, and what if this box is toxic? And it's not helping me. You yourself are programming all the bad stuff. And all the what if is bullshit. It's like, it's there to control your life. It's there to make you feel bad, wrong, guilty, stressed, anxious. And you're just sort of limiting yourself. You have to stop thinking. Like a lot of these like what if, oh, like what if it's contaminated? Like what if it's not? What if this box is actually your like savior? Well, like what if this box is actually gonna take all the entities and you're gonna be free from that? What if all the entities are actually disappearing from your space as you go? Every single breath will destroy thousands of entities. What if that? But you're not thinking that way. You're more like, what if I communicate to someone and I'm gonna get their entities and all this stuff? So like, literally, I would say shift your thinking, because like that thinking is really like, I don't know, like it's toxic for you. You're not gonna get anywhere with all those what if negative. Like you're just gonna repeat the cycle of hurting yourself. And what if I don't know what it is? What if I don't know that? Like it's actually just gonna limit you more. So you are the creator. You're the godlike being. Whatever you focus on, you create. You focus on the negative, you create that. You focus on like, hey, I'm actually doing good. What if this box is actually a thing that's gonna trap all of the entities and I'm fucking free from them? Boom. And that works. So like literally, your thoughts are super powerful. Use them wisely. Each and every one of you, if you just change your thinking, like most of us, it's really bad, but most of us are addicted to the bad stuff. Not everyone, but like because we've been suffering for so long, we get comfortable with it. We get the place where like it's our natural state to be suffering, to be doubtful, to be like, oh, like I'm all bad, or like the world is bad, or this is that, and you're sort of like thinking about negative stuff all the time because this is your natural state, because you're used to it, because you're addicted to that state. But literally, can you get out of your comfort zone and challenge yourself and try working on, I'm powerful. Whatever I think is powerful, because you yourself are sort of like creating the beliefs and thinking that it's going to limit you. Thinking about the entities and like making them some sort of superior beings. They're not. You are. But you're not focusing on that. So like, again, I don't know, like, we're freaking powerful beings. Every single thought, every visual, You can create absolutely anything. Worrying about entities, about some sort of thoughts popping up, about like what if it's contaminated, what if this happens, what if that happens. If you flip it, if you make it positive, it takes time, it takes practice, it's not fun, it's not easy, but you can do it. And you can flip everything around. And you don't need anyone else's help. You don't need anyone else saving you, because each and every one of you, you're your own savior. You are everything you need to help yourself to move forward, to learn and grow and do absolutely all you need. You're like that, like, I don't know, like you're the escalator yourself. Like you can go and do absolutely anything you want. And it's kind of like that thing, like where people want to get out and do something, but they're waiting for someone. They're waiting for that friend that's never going to show up. They're waiting for someone special to go to somewhere. And try to sort of like, hey, I'm going to go by myself and I'm going to try to enjoy it. And you go and you have the massive, like, damn, this is the best thing that's ever happened to me. I saw so many doggies and stuff, and I feel so good. And all of a sudden you're, it's just like everything changes. So, yeah, you're freaking powerful. Like a lot of these like thoughts, like what if, and then just putting the negative, flip it. Every time something like, what if it's contaminated? Like, what if it's not? What if this box is actually filled with so many entities gonna blow up like a nuclear power bomb and actually consume all the entities and you're gonna be free from them? What if every step you take is actually this massive boost of love and energy, and like every single step you take is gonna empower others? And boom, you're going for walks and you're creating these massive bombs of love. What if that? So literally, take care of yourself. Like whatever you think of, be in control of that. If you're noticing it's negative, change it. Because you are the boss of everything that's going on. So, there. Yeah, I'm like, it's hard. Like, I know it's hard, but like, you can flip it. Each and every one of you. So, yeah. I want to help you people. But at the same time, I can't save everyone. So like, I have to be an example and I have to take care of myself to show you that you can do it too. I can't remove all your issues, but I can give you tools so that you could do it for yourself and for others if you want that. So there, I should shut it up. John West, by the way, thank you for the donation, appreciate it. Where's Rich? He's in another room. Might be making video, might be watching something, might be working on his own courses or other stuff. I don't know, like, he's been researching a lot, regarding this whole, like, taking care of yourself and, like, how your decisions make an awesome impact. And actually, like, I've seen him grow. I've seen him get so good. From a person who, like, he has a lot of experience. But after all those years of work and thousands of hours of spiritual work and removing entities and other things, you still see like, hey, well, there's still some stuff left. And then you like just try to do something as basic as just simple things every day and growing your perspective, just changing your perspective, how you see life, and allowing yourself to be in a different way. To like, hey, I'm gonna like look for that being satisfied in simple things. And that guy, damn, he's good. He's growing. He's like getting somewhere that he hasn't gotten in years, and that's awesome. So like, yeah, you should definitely check out his stuff sometime in the future if you want. Ascension Mystery is asking, any idea why the aliens are making their presence officially known on Earth, and why aren't we thought about galactic civilizations? I think it would destroy the system we have right now. I made a video about it, and I was like really overexpressive, but my point of view is like, if we had disclosure of aliens, like, hey, aliens are real, they're out there, we're in touch with them, we would have to reconsider the physics, the math, the rules. Like, hey, time travel is possible, they have unlimited energy, they have da-da-da-da-da, and like you hear about those technologies and you're like, why are we still using gas? Why are we still using coal? Why are we still paying for electricity and all this stuff if all of it can be free? We have so many corrupted people who want to benefit from the smallest stuff. Like, let's say water. It's everywhere. Like, literally, if you dig anywhere, you're gonna, like, get the water, like, eventually. Air is, we can still at least breathe freely, but eventually they're like, oh, well, if you're breathing, you're actually poisoning Earth and all this stuff. CO2, global warming, we should charge you for breathing. And, like, everyone's buying these, like, tanks and stuff. Like, that might happen, but, like, literally, Earth is too corrupt. Or, like, not Earth. People here on Earth, and specifically those that are empowered, those that are in governments and stuff, they just want to benefits, and most of them are in the shadows and we don't even know their names. But they're the ones who don't want everything rewritten. They're the ones who own, like, massive businesses and, like, just imagine, like, okay, no more gas or anything else, no more taxes, no more, like, paying for the water, electricity, and all the other stuff, because all of that is free. It's just, like, people are not ready to that. And at the same time, not ready to rewrite out the laws or, like, their understanding of how the world works, how the universe works. They're not ready for that. Like, at least the governments. Like, I think, like majority of people would accept it and, like, hey, finally, I knew it, we're gonna shift, world is better. Fuck yeah, I don't have to pay anymore. And all of a sudden you have more freedom and life, like, quality gets better. But, like, those higher-ups, like, oh, shit, we're losing a lot of money, no one wants to buy our stuff anymore. How can we control people more? And, like, they're gonna find other ways. So, like, most of it is, like, because, things they were explaining from the very beginning, it's like we've been lied to our whole lives about how everything is. And because everyone bought out into it a lot, is to say like, hey, everything you know is a lie, and here's the real deal. Most people are gonna be in denial, or like at least those in powers, and all the stuff. So there's like a lot has to do with people who are sort of like in control here, or has more ways to influence us. And the other part, aliens and others are already here. They're already like, they're here. Most of us are not aware of it. Most of us are not paying attention. They're here. Like, we're waiting for someone to arrive, to show up, but they're here, you know? So there's that. To officially show up, like, let's say, even if, like, now there was a good being, like, let's say those good ETs trying to show up, like, hey, we're here to help. Stop the wars, stop nuking each other, stop fighting, stop using money because blah blah blah. That alien is gonna get killed. It's like, stop changing our fucking world. I like this prison because I can benefit from it. Get the fuck out of here. So like, I'm getting all into it, but like, yeah. And John is saying like, those aliens won't come here because they're loving and peaceful. They hate war. There's plenty of good guys who are all into war and more like, don't interfere our war with the bad guys because we're enjoying it. Stop it. So there are plenty of loving and peaceful aliens, but not all of them. And even the good guys, some of them like to be competitive. Like, how many of you like to win in life? How many of you like winning? Maybe you're playing chess, or maybe you're playing a video game, maybe you're playing something on the phone, maybe you're doing some sports. How many of you like to succeed? A lot, I guess. A lot of you like winning. So good guys, no matter how loving and peaceful we might be, like, hey, I don't like fighting, I don't like wars, but I do like winning in life, and I'm gonna do my best to play basketball better than you because I like that. And I love you, mate, but I'm gonna be better. And so we're competitive. So like, not everyone is like that, but I would not personally agree that like aliens won't come here because they're loving. There's plenty of loving beings who are like, let's fix stuff, or, you know, like all the other things. And then again, the whole thing about like love is the answer, is gonna solve everything, it's bullshit. It's like another new age lie because competition, and people love different experiences. It's like, I'm getting too consumed by this thought, I guess, like, but you're playing one game all the time. How long will it take for you to feel like, hey, I've been doing the same old thing again and again and again and again for years, for hundreds of thousands of years, for hundreds of millions of years, and I actually want to try something new because I'm getting bored with what I have. And eventually, you try something new, and others might not consider you being loving and peaceful and good and all this stuff because you're like, hey, I've been in love, I've been in the monogamy, and I've been in one relationship for freaking billions of years, and I decided to actually talk to another being. Actually say hello to someone else and not just you all the time. And now all of a sudden you're the bad guy. But we get like sort of like tired of same old experiences, and we try something new. So like, it's part of the consciousness. We're just sort of, it's competitive, it's likes to experience something new. It's like you might have your own harem for billions of years, but eventually, like, okay, I actually want to, I don't know, be a soldier or explore or learn and stuff like that. And then you spend like billions of years in the libraries reading, and then you're like, I actually want to go out and actually live something, and then you change and do something else. So like, we are, I don't know, it's not like you choose one role and you can't change it. You can at any time. You change your thoughts, you change your opinion. Like, okay, I'm gonna do something different now. Bye now. I change my opinion. I don't want to do that. Like, fuck it. And you just like, you're driving one way and you're like, I'm gonna turn somewhere else. Boom. So there's that. The rebel is asking, like, what is the best protection against entities in your opinion? Being in control of yourself is the best thing. Like, controlling your thoughts and stopping overreacting. Because these entities know who you are, how you are, what you like, what you don't like. They know your preferences. They know how to trigger you. They know your buttons. They've been watching you for 24/7 your whole life. And if there are things in life that will be said to you, and some people will have specific phrases, and you're like, stop saying that, stop pissing me off, and all this stuff, well, they will affect people all around you to mess with you. They will affect how you are in life. They will try to trigger you tons of times to get that old same reaction. So literally being in control of yourself, like hear this again, like yesterday I was making a sandwich, and little fault and everything falls on the floor. I'm like, there goes. I was so looking forward to making the sandwich. I was so looking forward to like eating it, enjoying it, and I'm like, oh, it's on the floor again. And instead of going like nuts of like, damn it, like, you know, like instead of getting aggravated, I'm like, okay, like whatever. So like literally imagine like, I don't know, like having a pizza and you're so excited about it, and then it falls off on the ground on the sand and all stuff. 3-second rule sandwich would be great if it wouldn't fall apart all over the place and you'd have to pick it up and there's some like, oh, someone's hair, isn't it? You know, so like there's a lot of the, but yeah, I hear ya. But still, like, you know, like literally whatever happens, people will say stuff that will trigger you. You might be in the traffic and you're going and there another car like squeezes and you're like, damn it, I'm in a hurry, I need to get to my work, and someone got in front of me and now I'm at red light again. And like some people will get pissed off at certain situations in life. Like maybe, like say, my grandma, like every time I would call her, she would like say something, and it's actually like, Grandma, I know you love me and have the best intentions for me, but you're literally trying to control my life, thinking that I'll be happy doing what you want me to do, and I'm not, you know. So like, there's like a lot of variations in the past. Let's say my brother would say things and call me names and all this stuff, and that would piss me off. And now it's more like, yeah, call me whatever. You can, you know, say whatever, do whatever. It's kind of like being in this place within where you're comfortable with who you are. And I don't know, like, being in control of like how you react to everything. It's kind of like, okay, here this shit happened. And are you going to react and get pissed off and get lost and all of this and just go like emotionally crazy or whatever? Or more like, you know, sort of like, fuck it and all this stuff. And like, how long do you dwell on those feelings? It's like, for me, like, I'm literally like learning like, hey, okay, like stuff might happen, like this might look like stressful or anything, but I'm like just like dealing with it, and I'm just in this like very chill state. And then I was like, because I got into this place, I'm not getting these attacks anymore, like, or as much as I used to. Like, if I would be reactive to one thing or another, like a bit more, they would still try to push the same button and trigger me on the same old thing. But because I'm like, oh, every time this happens or this person does something, I know I used to have reaction, but now it's like they do the same old thing, and I'm like, whatever, you know. So, like, the best we can do is be in control of how we feel, how we react, and be in control of ourselves. After that, our visuals, you are freaking powerful. Your visuals can literally do absolutely everything for you. If people are calling, like, it's just imagination, come on, stop dreaming and all this stuff, it's crap. Don't listen to those people. Your imagination is freaking powerful. It's a godlike tool. Some people might, like, let's say in the video game, you get this, like, awesome tool and you use it to slash others and, like, yeah, you're winning because you finally got this godlike item. Well, you have this. That's your imagination. That's your creativity, your visuals, your thoughts. It's everything you need. And literally, if entities come in your space, to consider like, okay, galactic vacuum, like a vacuum cleaner, or like getting them in a bubble, getting them in a bag or whatever. Be creative and allow yourself to like have this freedom of what you're gonna do with them. But literally just sort of like, there's an empty cluster like right there messing with you, and you just sort of like imagine like maybe catching them and dropping them in a trash box, and they're there, like they can't get out. Like what if that? And all of a sudden you create all these things, you manifest things, and your visuals, your imagination is enough for you to protect yourself a lot from these beings. To take care of yourself, to, let's say, heal yourself, like I, saying the word here, like nowadays, like, a bit dangerous because of the rules and all this stuff, but like literally doing all this like work, energy work, let's say, you can do it all, and sort of like taking care of these, you might have headaches, you might have other things, your imagination is enough to clear all those things. So for me, like, being in control of yourself and then practicing visualizing, thinking, and being in control of what I'm doing, that's freaking powerful. So yeah. August aimlessly is asking, like, how can we tap into this higher self-consciousness? And when we talk about, like, higher self-consciousness and, like, what would it feel like, literally, you'd have to define it for yourself. Because, like, some people, let's say they do meditations, and they're expecting to get something out of it that's not even possible, or, like, they're, like, not believe is there. And so, like trying to define it, what would it feel like? Like, how would you know that right now you tap into the higher consciousness? Like, what would change? Would the feelings feel like? Would the feeling state change? Would your emotions change? How would you think? How would you react to everything? So you would have to define, like, okay, how would I know that I'm in touch with it? What would change? And then once you're there, like, let's say, okay, I have a clear picture. If I was touching into my higher self, I would stop worrying about stuff. I would sort of like maybe get more knowledge, more information, sort of like be more content about life, and just like sort of like be in this like really good state where I don't worry about stuff. Well, like define for yourself what you think is the higher self-consciousness, how it would be different, and then to get in touch with it, I would sort of like even suggest kind of like connecting to the other aspects. Like, okay, like if you know what would be different, just imagine being there. Because literally, just by acting as if you're that, you can literally, okay, you just connect it. Like, you sort of like think like, it would be like this, and just because you're trying to act out a role or the scene of what it would be like, you literally are tapping into the higher self and actually manifesting it yourself. So literally, let's say, the way people who are working as actors are making a movie and acting out specific scenes or roles, and you see them expressions, and now it's like little fictional stuff, but they created this awesome character or an awesome scene that most of us remember. And all of these things, you literally will create for yourself. What would it be like to connect to the other parts of you that are like this? What would it be like if you were doing certain things? And you literally try to play it out for yourself, like simply like, okay, like, well, if I was confident, I would sort of sit more straight, breathe more, relax, talk a bit slower, feel like I'm actually giving you some valuable content. And all of a sudden your whole being has changed and you tap into it just like that, in seconds. So for me, like, I guess like that would be the thing. More like just like act it out. Like define what it would be like and just act it out. And you're gonna connect with it in seconds because you're just gonna know deep inside of how to do it without actually trying to put it in words. Like your consciousness knows it all. No one is asking. Akvile or anyone else in here has experience with demons. I feel them all over me trying to get in my body, and I can sense them sometimes. I can see I can see them, and what can I do to protect myself? If you feel them and see them, I would sort of like start defining them, sort of like splitting them into the groups. Like, let's say, okay, here's like the entities and demons I might be seeing and experiencing and feeling and all this stuff. I need to make sure, like, okay, here's like how many demons there are. There's like these entities, they look like this, da 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 da. And you basically sort of like get them into the groups of like demons and let's say entities and maybe some other like ETs and all this stuff. You get them into specific like bubbles or like clusters. And after that, you're looking into like, okay, how are these beings affecting me? Like, what do they want? Specific ones that are like trying to drain my energy. Specific ones that are like trying to make me feel bad, wrong, and guilty. Specific ones that are like trying to make me feel this like and despair or maybe disappointment, maybe depression and all the other things. And you're sort of like looking all over the place, but like literally putting labels on them so that you for yourself would be clear about who's there, what's going on, how are they affecting you. Once you have everything sort of like in clusters and labeled, then you can simply start from one little bit at a time. I'm like, okay, here's a few demons, they look like this, and this is how they affect me. These beings, like your visualization is freaking powerful. So if you focus on these beings and you define how are they affecting you and who they are, literally, I don't know, like put them in this box or like imagine this like golden chain wrapping up around them and sort of like holding them tight, and then maybe some beings coming over or like galactic vacuum sucking them out and literally taking them out of your space. So literally using your visuals and imagination to sort of disconnect them from you, to pull them out and sort of like transmute them. Once you get rid of them, I would also look for any possible copies, backups, any other like clones and all this stuff. You look for them and even go for the hierarchy. Like who's above these beings? Like you have demons messing with you, who's above them? Who's ordering them to mess with you? So you follow the whole hierarchy about like who's the very big being targeting you, or maybe everyone and you're just one of the victims, and try to deal with the higher being. If you can't visualize and see that being, simply call out. Like, you know, like if you have these beings, like let's say demons messing with you, ask them, who's your leader? Who's telling you to mess with me? Who's your boss? And literally you're just gonna get a thought. You might hear them, you might hear the answer and all this stuff, but once you get the answer, you sort of like direct that your attention to the boss or whatever, and you speak to them like, do you have a boss? Why are you messing with me and all this stuff? You literally can have a conversation with them to find out like what's going on, why are they doing this, and like literally some of these demons and entities will be messing with us because they have orders, and if they don't listen to their higher ups, they're gonna be killed. So literally they might be messing with you and trying not to be killed by their higher ups, so you can literally free them from that and give them another place to live with your like visuals. There's like creating a realm for them. But at the same time, if they're like don't give a damn about you and they're good, literally just sort of like take out the boss, and it's like kind of the whole structure falls apart. And you know, like you do this thing like of a clearance, and then you can sort of give the warning to the others like, hey, if there's anyone else who will try or wants to try or is trying to mess with me the same way they are, or is trying to harm me in any like one way or the other, you just saw what I did to those guys. Be attentive, because this is what's going to happen to you next. So literally, if you take care of one group, give them a warning, let them know that like you can protect yourself, that you are powerful, and they're like, oh damn, they realize who they really are. They know their true powers. Can't mess with them again, because like they're afraid of us. They're afraid of us. They know who's the bigger person, who's more capable. They know it's you, and because you're so freaking capable, they're trying to target you to sort of make you think that you're like hopeless, helpless, you can't do anything. And they're trying to sort of change your point of view about yourself or your station. So like if you can recall, or let's say know your capabilities, know how powerful your imagination and visuals are, they're gonna be helpless. They're gonna be afraid to touch or mess with you, because one thought and they're gone. So you're freaking powerful. I would say like trying your like visuals to take them out is like best part. They might also come here because you might have similar agreements. For example, you want to be free and you value freedom, but these beings are messing with you because the only way for them to get free by like the big boss is like, okay, you can be free once you do this mission of either killing the guy or getting him into the suicide or whatever. And their mission is like they're fighting for the freedom just like you, but they are fighting for it differently, because they only gonna get freedom if they mess with you. And if you're like, hey, you and I, we have the same goal, but you know, like to sort of explaining them the situation and helping them to wake up, and literally you can bring them to the awareness like, we're like, oh damn, I didn't realize it. And literally because of waking up, they become free and they can leave. So a lot of possibilities, like visuals and other techniques. Just like be creative, I guess. Norwood is asking, Akvile, what is some of the most interesting things you have discovered while traveling out of body? Well, there's a lot. I guess the recent experience. Let's see. Yeah, the recent experience. This girl was abducted astrally. Like she was asleep, and they took like her astral body out of the physical. So like it's kind of like astral projection, but kind of like forced. Her astral body got pulled out. And it's kind of like the 20 and back experience for the astral body. And for 20 years, they held this astral body within the like underground bases. And there's just like billions of these pods, and they have her astral body that's being scanned, and like there's a lot of things going on with the original astral body. But in those pods, they started like 3D printing and literally cloning the astral body, and now there's like billions of clones of this person, and each astral body works like a voodoo doll. So like literally all these astral bodies are now being sold off for labor, for wars, for sexual pleasure, for rituals, and all the other things. And this person in life is like suffering a lot, like feeling drained and all the other things, and literally there are other ETs and like even humans and other beings like buying out those astral bodies and using them for their own purposes. And like finding this, like, damn, there's like the person is literally experiencing the cost of the astral body being messed with in those ways. So literally it's like finding out those like clones and like destroying them, and sort of like the person like changes like that, like no more drained, is all focused, like the whole brain fog and memories are lost and all the other things just disappears and all this stuff. So like there's a lot of these things. So yeah, a lot. So like that was sort of like a more interesting experience, like, and there's a lot of those, but like this one was sort of like recent, just this week. So I'm like, damn, this is cool. So there's that. Yeah, consciousness trafficking, pretty much. Yeah, it's like a lot of people have it happening with the physical body, but like without the awareness, or let's say getting taken, and then they create this physical body clone, and then the physical body comes back, but the clones are now being used, like, let's say you have tons of bodies, and you know, like how a lot of you might have heard, like some celebrities have clones, and then the consciousness of the celebrity is taken and put in the clone body while they're being fucked and all this stuff. And it's just pretty much like for the torture, for the shock and all this stuff. It happens to a lot of people. So yeah. It's actually funny that like some of you are asking like I hope it wasn't me, or like are you doing my session, all this stuff, because like some people can actually sort of hear the story and relate to it, and if you're relating to it, this is probably happening to some of you, like who knows. Oh, I'm reading like the comments of no one, and like if you're having like demons and like other entities, and you're saying like they're like shadow like beings visiting you when you're almost like falling asleep, I would recommend you, before you go to bed, literally turn on the camera and let it film you while you sleep. And literally, if you're getting messed throughout the night, a lot of these beings try to avoid the camera because they can be exposed. So there's some sort of like, I don't know, like I haven't researched that much, but some of my clients and people I have worked with, like those who were like with the, like, let's say abduction strategy nice, or like incubus, succubus and all that stuff, a lot has stopped once they started like filming themselves sleep. So literally they could finally get plenty of rest just by turning on the camera and having everything filmed. So I don't know, try it out. Like I haven't researched this thing myself that much, but there's something to it. Like a lot of people actually say like, damn, like after I turned on the camera, things changed. So maybe try it out. I am Yahweh is saying, Akvile, why do you judge beings like Satan or Marduk as evil? If he or any of the Anunnaki created humanity, don't they have the right to set the rules on Earth? Yeah, a lot of times when I'm talking about things, you see me doing this. So when I'm talking about the evil, the good, and all the other things, I sort of like, hey, it's in the, I don't know, parenthesis, if that's what it's called, but like literally, the whole good and evil, right, wrong, bad, and all the stuff is just like, it's duality. It's bullshit. It's not a thing. So literally seeing, let's say, Satan as the bad guy, Jesus as the good guy, crap. Marduk as the bad guy, crap. Literally, the way I'm trying to explain myself all the time, and I'm not sure how many of you listen or like see between the lines or anything else, but like, each and every one of us, we're consciousness. We're like the being who is playing an actor and playing a specific role. You might have billions of movies played out and made, and literally for each movie you choose a different role. While there might be a being playing as Satan, and like he might choose, and like a lot of people like, hey, Satan's messing with me, he's a bad guy. And then like we have like, oh, that person's helped me, he's a good person. Well, literally the next moment that same Satan who's messing with you can actually come and just give you massive love because they're playing a different role. So a lot of times I'm trying to make it clear that like, hey, there is no good, bad, right, wrong, and all this stuff. And even people who, let's say, do bad things here on Earth, they will not end up going to hell. Because it's more of a belief system, because it's more of our own choice. So whether you choose to do something that is good here on Earth or something that is bad here on Earth, literally your belief systems will guide you. So, you know, like I'm trying to make it clear that we're all consciousness, we have tons of experiences, and just because you kill some people in the past, for example, like you have one life where you're being a soldier, you're just enjoying like, damn, I'm freaking powerful. Like imagine like X-Men and having all of those powers, like regeneration, having those Wolverine claws, being able to use your eyes to shoot something and all this stuff, like you're freaking enjoying yourself. You can fly and like blasting and all this stuff, and it's like everything's sort of enhanced, so the whole experience is like way more fun, and there is no pain. You're not experiencing any pain, you're like blasting, like you shoot someone, they explode, and they come back to life, and like, haha, that was fun, your turn, and they shoot you, and you die, and you come back, like, that was fun, I had no pain, but that was something interesting, let's try this one. You choose bazooka, they choose katana, and you're just like slashing each other all the time, and that's fun, and you stop like, that was great, mate, thanks, let's go drink some beer, and all stuff, and like, you just had this massive fight trying out all the ways to kill each other, and there was no pain, and you just sort of like come back to life all the time, and then you just like, basically, people who go on the course to play the game, like they might fight for each other, like football, NBA, volleyball, and all that stuff. Like people are like trying to fight each other, but after the game is done, they're like, "Hey, buddy, you did great. Let's go have like fun tonight." And they're the best buddies, but they're in just different games. And so, like literally, we might have playing Satan or Marduk or someone else, like, and they're like playing the bad guys from people from perspective of those who are being like victims or suffering and all this stuff. And once you back out, it's like, oh, just another being playing whatever they want to play. Cool. So, yeah, I just think like I might have portrayed it differently, or like I didn't made it clear enough for you, I'm Yahweh, that I'm not judging people or like beings. But yeah. So I'm just really slowly scrolling down, reading the comments and everything. Agnostic is saying, I have anesthesia and no visuals at all, and I cannot imagine anything except sound. Is there anything else I could do? Yes, your thoughts. Think. Like, be in control of what you're thinking. Because if you can't visualize and see anything, that's okay. It's not a limitation. You might feel like, oh damn, like they're all explaining all these massive techniques and I just can't do it all. And then you feel trapped and limited and just like, it doesn't stop you. You are still freaking godlike being able to do absolutely anything you want. So instead of like focusing like, I can't see, be like, I can think and I'm in control of that. Hell yeah. And use your thoughts. Like literally the way people would try to visualize, you can think about this place. And just like the way people like writing stories, you can literally in your head write the story of once upon a time, and you just like create your fantasy world with your thoughts. You don't have to see it, but you are still a creative being, and whatever you think can be manifested if you put intention on it. So literally by thinking alone, literally like, okay, I can't see stuff, but there might be some entities in my space. Those entities are trying to make me feel bad, wrong, and guilty, or specifically, like they're draining my energy. I feel them right here on my neck area. So I'm just gonna, I don't know. Yeah, like, well, like, let's say there's a box. So like, let's say there's a box somewhere, and these entities are there. I'm just gonna think about like entities in the box. Yeah, entities in the box. That's easy enough. And then disconnecting in the box. Yeah, like, okay. So like, literally, you don't have to see anything at all, but thinking. One step at a time, like writing a story in your head, and you can do the whole entity removal, soul construct removal, manifest anything you want, write the fake Ubi story that's actually going to pull you out of body for real. Tons of things that you can do, and having no visuals is not a limitation. It's okay. You actually have more time to focus on what you think, get in control of it, and actually have even more fun with it. So there's that. I'm seeing one question like of the TD edition. He's asking, are ejaculation and sleep normal or entities are tracking my energy out? And because I'm a girl, I can't comment much or say like from my own experience, like I don't have this sort of stuff. So I guess like more guys could actually tell you all about it, but from the way I see it, it is normal, it's okay, if you don't use it, you lose it. So if you don't use it throughout the day, your body like just needs to get it out anyway, because you're like, there's an overload or whatever. And I haven't studied the subject that much or at all to actually tell you all about it, but like, I think it's natural, just let it be. And instead of like, damn, I feel so bad in the morning, and like, I didn't want it to come and all this stuff, but here it is, like, damn it, so like, instead of focusing or dwelling on like, it happened, like, okay, it's there, like, what can you do to feel more restored, feel more energetic? What can you do throughout the day to empower yourself and to feel better? And so if it happens, it happens. Just let it go. And like I would say, focus on something like that would be more empowering and like good and better. So yeah, I can't comment much because this is not my area of expertise, you know? Like OBs and all this stuff, I can talk all about it. Like this is like, I don't know, like this is what I think. But again, like some people might get messed with by the incubus and succubus and all this stuff. They might be drained. But if you feel like that is the case, I would sort of like maybe focus like, okay, they're being trying to mess with me nightly and all this stuff, and what can I do about it? And then like start trying to address these things, like trying to remove these entities and all this stuff if they're doing that. But empower yourself with like, hey, it's natural. I'm a guy. It's happening. Cool. What can I do to feel better throughout the day? And just go with that. Yeah, what Zach is saying. Take some zinc after ejaculation. There you go. The rebel is asking Akvile, have you ever said who you are as a soul? I don't know, I'm consciousness. And so whatever as a consciousness I am an experience, that's it. Like, I don't like putting labels like, oh, I'm an indigo and I'm this starseed and I'm from here and I'm this, like, that's for me is like useless. So like, I don't know, I'm just a being who's experiencing things, and right now I'm in human body, trying to grow, help some people, and get out of here. That's it. Short story. Norwood is saying, Akvile Bioshock playthrough, please. Whoa, like, I was wondering about playing the game, but like, I don't know, like, I might be more doubtful, or like lately, like, my focus is different than playing video games. Like, I played Cyberpunk, we played with Rich, and we tried, like, we played more than like on the stream and all this stuff. But like, I'm surprised that people are actually okay with watching me play games. Like, that's so crazy that someone would even want it. It's like, that's, I don't know, it's super good. So yeah, Bioshock, I can totally play it. Like, maybe on stream sometime in the future, maybe a video by itself, but that's totally doable. Tasari is saying, Akvile, I got a VR. It wasn't supposed to get here because it didn't have the money, but somehow it got here. Lol. The world gives back. Hope you have an amazing day just dropping in. That's great. I'm actually glad some people are getting something. Like, if you like something and you get it, like, good for you. So enjoy yourself, have fun with the VR, and then share your experiences here. Lucy is asking, like, what's the longest you've been out of body? For a few years at least. Like, I remember, like, getting out of body, and I spent, like, I don't know, like, 5 to 10 years in one world. And I come back and it's like, all the relationships I've made and everything I experienced, like, waking up here, I was like, what? And I had to readjust to, like, oh, I'm here. Damn it. You know, so, like, there's, like, a lot of unfinished business in that world, but, like, I think, like, 5 to 10 years at least. So it happens. Like, for me, like, getting out of body and actually living another life for a long time and coming back with, like, damn, like, the whole life I was, like, so into it, and, like, here is, like, back here again. So, like, it's a lot of, like, readjusting, or, like, sometimes there are even, like, times where, like, let's say I have a newbie, but I'm literally living my life here, and I will live like a week forward. So every conversation from now on, and I'm like gonna live Christmas, and I'm gonna live, let's say, until the New Year's evening, and everything, like every conversation I'm gonna have with my parents, with people around me, the streams, the other projects I'm gonna do, and I wake up and I'm like, well, what's up? Like I'm gonna do my own stuff, and I'm like, the day is wrong, and the conversations, new relationships, and all the other things, and the projects I did like aren't there anymore. Like what the fuck? And I have to just like, damn it, it was just an out of body experience, and I have to redo absolutely everything, and it's annoying sometimes, but it happens. Yeah, so just sort of like reading your comments and everything, and I think like for today, I won't be streaming as long. I think like answering some questions and feel like yeah, I actually gave enough from my perspective. So I think like I actually could wrap it up for today, and I will say like maybe more tomorrow and all this stuff. I'm actually like glad to be here to answer questions and share my experiences, but yeah, like I think I'm gonna wrap it up for today. So hey, if any of you got some value, I'm really glad for you. I think like we'll be doing more of these, and on the 27th, like keep in mind, those of you who will have more free time, next upcoming Sunday, the 27th, I'm gonna have one of my viewers, Cosmic United, here with me on stream. We're gonna do the live soul contract revocation. I'll be guiding her, and basically we're gonna do the session for her, and the full guided, like fully explained, so a lot of you can actually be there, tune in, and maybe follow what we're doing and do it on yourself, just changing the wording, but at the same time, like you might try it out, see what happens. So like that being said, thank you everyone for tuning in, for being here, for asking all the great questions and having me express myself a little bit and even listening to me. I mean, it means a lot to me, so thank you so much, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.